Thanks again for allowing us into your lunchtime space. My name is Patricia Lukoman-Pango, and this is your lunchtime news. Now into the bulletin. Uganda will host the third African Association for Public Administration and Management. According to the Minister for Public Service, Muruli Mokasa, the event slated for 26 to 29th November provides the country a platform for investment opportunities. Let's hear more in this report.
Besides attracting investment opportunities, African Association for Public Administration and Management Roundtable Conference aims at sourcing funding for the improvement of the country's services.
We also expect to have actions and plans for inclusive development, and here we aim to have detailed action plans designed to overcome barriers to inclusive development, fostering policies and initiatives that ensure equitable access to services and opportunities.
The formation of African Association for Public Administration and Management has been beneficial in capacity building, which contributes highly to the development of the country's economy since its formation in 1962.
One opportunity is capacity building in the service. So when you learn and see what is going on, you say, oh, no, we need improvements here and there. And indeed today, in many of our services, we have demanded that, first of all, the intellectual or the academic qualification of the service must change. And it has changed. And it's not just boasting, but I think our Ugandan service is one of the most educated service on the continent.
The conference will be an opportunity for Uganda to compare notes with other countries on how to handle the rationalization process.
We are going to exchange knowledge. How are those people doing it? For instance, how is the service providing a service, let's say, to people in Egypt, to Morocco, South Africa, Botswana, and so on. So exchange knowledge and ideas. Are there people fighting in parliament in Botswana or something? How have they managed to move? There are challenges everywhere, but have they coped with those challenges?
To be held under the theme Agile and Resilient Public Administration for Sustainable Development in Africa, the conference targets professionals serving in the public service on the continent and will host over 1,000 delegates from all over Africa, with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni expected to grace the event. Winnie Ainembabazi Katwire and Robert Katamba for UBC.
Now, Uganda is looking to further her advocacy for increased funding for mitigation and adaptation to climate change efforts come next week as the world convenes in Azerbaijan in Forum 29th Conference to parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change.
From the 11th to the 22nd day of November this year, countries signatory to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change will be convening for the 29th Conference of Parties to be held in Azerbaijan's city of Baku. Uganda's delegation to the conference, to be led by the line Minister of Water and Environment, Sam Cheptoris, is to, among others, bargain for the operationalization of the Loss and Damage Fund that will increase chances for developing countries to access funds for climate change activities.
You are aware we have negotiated and put a position where we say everybody must take responsibility, but those who degrade more should also take a bigger chunk of the responsibility. So this is subsequent pushes, because in all the COPs we go to, it is always on the table, and this time also is going to be squarely on the table.
Also on the list is the enhancement of carbon trading as a payback model for developing countries like Uganda that remains in the lead when it comes to generation of carbon sinks.
This is another discovery of like oil and gas. Our biodiversity, our ecosystem. We have our trees, our wildlife reserves, our water bodies, our land, all that is what can be quantified here, and we get carbon credit where we can be paid money for.
The Dubai-hosted COP28 conference adopted the agenda to accelerate decarbonization and transition to renewable energy with the aim of promoting a transition from fossil fuels to clean energy sources. However, the State Minister for Environment, Beatrice Anywa, says while Uganda is willing to run on this agenda, her quest to implement a dual energy approach should be approved.
The oil we have discovered in this country, because it is termed a dirty oil, no? We should transit, we should guard against the effect of bad use of that oil, which we are doing, and we shall get the new technologies as we go along. In any case, even the developed countries, they first use that one, including coal, developed, and now they don't want to use it. Fine. So we shall run after them, but we should go systematic and in a just, balanced way.
The 29th Conference of Parties will run under the theme, In Solidarity for a Green World. Dorcas Kimono.
Thank you very much there, Dorcas Kimono. Now, members of the East African Legislative Assembly have called for reinvestment of 70% of tourism proceeds back into the generating communities. The regional legislators say this will also require harmonization of tourism policies for the entire region as opposed to the individual EAC member states to economically benefit.
Geographical indications enable consumers distinguish quality products and trust, assuring them that what they are buying is authentic and meets expectations. By protecting local products' names, geographical indications help safeguard the unique creations of Ugandan producers, enhancing the value of their work and preserving heritage.
By learning from the successes and challenges of countries like South Africa, Colombia, Ethiopia, Ghana, and Morocco, we can refine our strategies and foster a supportive ecosystem for all GI stakeholders.
That tourism is a sector that could change any locality is one fact that the East African Legislative Assembly has acknowledged. This underscores the need for East African community member states to embrace conservation of wildlife.
Direct partner states to develop proper land use management plans with clear demarcation between land for wildlife, agriculture and livestock, and human settlement to reduce the human-wildlife conflict.
No sooner had the committee chairperson, Francois Umukiza, presented this report on the state of wildlife in the East African community.
Direct partner states to provide alternative economic activities to communities living around the wildlife conservation areas.
Then a serious debate ensued.
You can never discover a wild animals elsewhere in the world. It can only be extinct. So this is the goal that we have, that we must really invest highly on it.
We have to put more efforts. Our countries, our partner states must put more efforts in encouraging this domestic tourism.
We need really to come up with joint programs in terms of sharing information, in terms of addressing the challenges that we face, such as the issue of conflicts related to the wildlife.
The need to address poaching and political conflicts was highlighted to avoid forcing wild animals into seeking refuge.
Where the wildlife crosses the other side to the human habitat, but also where the human beings are trying to encroach the parks.
Wildlife, just like us, when there is conflict, they leave. And it's very true for the case of South Sudan. Because I was in charge of the productive sector those days, we found that half the animals migrated to Kenya, to Ethiopia, and to Uganda for their safety.
The economic potential of wildlife as a driver for tourism was also emphasized. This attracted members of the front bench to support the report.
And we will see the best way in which to ensure that this is committed to the relevant sectoral council for further deliberation and policy intervention.
With such overwhelming support, the motion was debated, adopted and passed. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, the public is encouraged to embrace geographical indications to help preserve the identity of local products, create market differentiation, and empower communities to thrive in the global economy. This message was central at the pioneering GI conference in Kampala, which aims to shape a future where Uganda's unique products gain recognition on the international stage.
Geographical indications enable consumers distinguish quality products and trust, assuring them that what they are buying is authentic and meets expectations. By protecting local products' names, geographical indications help safeguard the unique creations of Ugandan producers, enhancing the value of their work and preserving heritage.
By learning from the successes and challenges of countries like South Africa, Colombia, Ethiopia, Ghana, and Morocco, we can refine our strategies and foster a supportive ecosystem for all GI stakeholders. However, we must acknowledge the existing knowledge gap around GI processes.
At the event, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, called for mindset change and innovation for the country to fully benefit from the geographical indications framework.
In short, I'm calling for two things: stock taking of the wealth we have, and then a mind shift to really change the way we think. Because we are equipped. I want to declare my commitment to working with you, the producers, the marketers, and you, the international partners, so that we have a conducive environment.
Geographical indications contribute to economic development, guards against misuse, fosters product integrity, and ensures sustainable use of natural resources, among others.
The potential GIs that we have as Uganda range from coffee to cotton to vanilla to the tea. By the way, we have very good tea, but we never promote it. We have very good coffee, but what coffee is on our tables, in our boardrooms? You know the coffee there. The Ankole cow is one of the best. We have the bananas, we have the pineapples.
This inaugural event brought together industry leaders, seasoned intellectual property examiners, and policymakers to advance Uganda's geographical indications framework and elevate Ugandan products on the global market. With this pioneering conference in Kampala, Uganda seeks to harness the potential for its geographical indications to tell the Ugandan story on the global stage. Brian Tumwinebiaruhanga, UBC News.
Now, the National Agricultural Research Organization, NERO, has signed a partnership with South Sudan in the groundbreaking project dubbed Embracing South-South Seed and Knowledge Sharing for Resilient Agro-Ecosystems and Improved Livelihood. The project intends to empower vulnerable communities in refugee hosting districts and communities displaced by war in South Sudan.
Uganda is the largest destination for refugees in Africa, currently hosts over 1.7 million refugees, with 55% of these individuals coming from South Sudan. This refugee influx has led to increased environmental strain and competition for resources. Now, through this new partnership, Naro and South Sudan are working to bolster food security for these vulnerable populations.
So we are looking at creating an environment that, one, brings back the diversity that has been lost over the years due to conflict, due to people moving from their homesteads and going into camps.
It will focus on providing quality seed of those commodities I've talked about to smallholder farmers. And it will also be sharing knowledge, teaching farmers, the stakeholders on how to grow crops, how to manage, how to practice good agricultural practices.
This project is expected to enable South Sudan to leverage Naro's research expertise, building more resilient agroecosystems that can better withstand environmental and social pressures.
And then we bank them. Through this project, we'll be able to first create a gene bank. Probably this would be the first in the country. And with the help of Naro, we'll be able to do exactly the right work that needs to be done. Naro has experience, vast experience in this area, and we would like to tap into that.
Among pressing issues, the genetic resource for food and agriculture, which are being depleted by climate change, by conflict, by demographic, and so on. So this project is timely because it comes to address a pressing issue of how we can avail quality seeds.
The director in charge of research at the National Agriculture Research Laboratories, Dr. Roboni Tumhimbise, underscores the critical role of quality seeds in strengthening the agricultural value chain.
Actually, literature has it that quality seed, good seed of improved crops, contributes 20 to 25% of crop productivity. Even before you have subjected a crop to good agricultural practices like spacing, fertilizer application, management of diseases, seed alone contributes that much.
Through this collaboration, South Sudan will be able to become self-reliant, where farmers will be able to multiply seed and sustain its community.
If we are able to multiply our indigenous seeds, make them available for use to the local communities, this will help them to move from dependency on humanitarians, and then they produce food by themselves.
And, the most important part we are advocating at is how farmers can establish community seed banks for each localities, and to help them at least to save what they have. Because as South Sudanese, up to now, we are facing challenges in accessing good quality seeds.
The project is expected to operate across Lamo and Obongi districts in Uganda, Nimule, Ikwoto, and Kapaweta in South Sudan, focusing on crops like beans, cowpeas, and sorghum. This effort aims to improve food security and agricultural resilience across both countries. Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Now, in the area of land policies, the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development has started consultations into the national land policy in Eastern region. The Acting Director, Land Administration, Naomi Kavanda, says they put much emphasis on the critical issues that have continuously fueled conflicts like land fragmentation.
The consultations to address the draft revised national land policy in Eastern region have kicked off in Soroti City. The 2 days consultation on the draft national land policy held in Eastern region Soroti district will cover Teso, Karamoja, Sebei and Bukedi sub-region.
The clan leaders should be empowered by police in land administration. After all, in giving land, it is the clan that apportions and gives land. But when you go to the law does not give them powers of administration.
The regions in question have their land tenure largely based on customary system.
I see the policy continually protecting women alone, which is not bad. We really appreciate that.
But how are we going to protect men? Because we are seeing this in our society.
In Teso and Bukedi, their challenges mainly stem from insecurity and land fragmentation, which have led to family conflicts and instability in communities. In Sebei, land conflicts arise from population pressure on scarce arable land, which the draft policy intends to address.
Customary tenure in Teso is becoming individualized customary, and we cannot treat it like how we are treating customary tenure in Acholi sub-region.
Such challenges will be addressed by bringing forward concerns from stakeholders to be incorporated into the draft national land policy.
I have heard when you're doing a presentation, you say we don't have enough land in Uganda. But sincerely, the population in Uganda is not yet overwhelmed that we don't have enough land in Uganda. Why do some of us own over 100 acres of land?
The resident city commissioner who represented the Minister of Lands encouraged participants to share their concerns to help in shaping the draft policy.
We must look at land not only as a piece of beneath our feet, but as a crucial driver of wealth and opportunity for our nation.
One of the key parties who drafted the proposed national land policy noted that if implemented, the policy will help to curb the increasing land conflicts.
The traditional, the customary office holders talks about them having only a role of mediation. Yet, truthfully, within our families, within our clans, these people do a lot more than do mediation.
The acting director, Land Administration, emphasized critical key takeaways in the 3 sub-regions.
Transboundary, the borders, is very critical in this region. And the other component, which I foresee is going to come, will still be on the registration of customary tenure.
The regional consultations are a platform for stakeholders to contribute ideas that will help create a policy that promotes equitable and sustainable land use across Uganda. Susan Naonga, reporting for ABC TV.
Stop breathing. To be a winner, you must breathe only when necessary. Breathing is for losers. What is that? Did I give you permission to sweat? You can sweat in your free time. Push the arms straight.
Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Stake 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Stake 10. Sports Stake 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy, Wanawoli.
To be a winner, you must have the discipline of a tiger. But when fueled with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congratulations!
your car is happy, and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
Welcome to the world of business. Now, into business, the financial sector in Uganda is demonstrating its commitment to supporting the country's energy transition agenda, as shown by the new partnership between Absa Bank and Mogo Uganda. Meanwhile, the upcoming non-executive awards scheduled for the end of November will recognize and celebrate the most outstanding non-executive directors in the country.
Absa Bank Uganda has supported green energy switch for the informal sector with a 19 billion shillings loan facility to Mogo Uganda. The funding will support Mogo's mission of providing affordable loans to border operators to acquire electric bikes on hire purchase.
Through Mogo loans, we're also able to contribute towards a cleaner and greener country, contributing towards our sustainability goals. You know, right now there's a global trend and interest around sustainability, environmental sustainability specifically. This helps us be part of that.
Let's say we partnered with Spiro, we partnered with EB for doing electric bicycles, we partnered with Sempo. But what matters at the end of the day is how the customers like the bike and what is the payment behavior. Yeah?
The structured loan for the e-bikes will be repaid over a maximum period of 30 months, empowering thousands of riders to own environmentally friendly electric bikes that are cheaper to maintain and operate. Access to financial services remains the main obstacle to the growth of informal businesses like Boda. In other news, the League of East African Directors is to hold the annual Non-Executive Directors Awards 2024. This year's theme, a celebration of excellence in the boardroom, will set the tone as the event scheduled for the 28th of this month in Kampala honors visionary leaders.
Non-executive directors usually do not have a stake in the company and are not rewarded properly for their efforts. They give of their time daily and they sacrifice a lot to ensure that the companies they represent meet their bottom line.
The fourth Lead NED Awards will introduce two new categories: the Outstanding Chair of a Listed Corporate Company and the Most Supportive Company Secretary.
We also encourage the community to participate. Nominations are open. Our nomination link is on our website, which is eadirectors.org. And we would like you to go there and nominate a non-executive director or a company secretary or a CEO that has been outstanding. There is a very serious criteria there that we will want to look at.
Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
Honorable Fred Biamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport in charge of transport, invites you to the launch of the 4-acre model campaign in the Greater Chibale District's Bunyoro sub-region. The event will take place at Chikwaya Primary School Playground, Kakumiro District, on November 15, 2024, starting at 10 a.m. and will be graced by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. All residents, civil servants and the leaders from the districts that make up Greater Chibale, Kakumiro, Chibale, Kagadi, Chikube and neighboring areas are encouraged to attend in large numbers. This initiative, led by the President, aims to bring ordinary people into the money economy by showcasing farmers who have succeeded in the 1-acre model, 2-acre model, 3-acre model and 4-acre model. Join local leaders and residents in learning how small land can be used to enhance food security and socio-economic growth. Don't miss this opportunity to witness the transformative impact on local communities.
And into the world of sports, Uganda Golf Club Kitante will this weekend host the second edition of the Uganda Key Coast Golf. Let's hear more from John Barnes Centum.
The past 72 Uganda Golf Club Kitante is in good shape ahead of this weekend's second edition of the Uganda Kenya Coast Golf Tournament. This tournament is enabled by the Consulate of the Republic of Uganda, Mombasa, and targets golf tourism.
The intention ultimately is to do sports tourism promotion, but we've started with golf tourism because golfers normally are people who have reasonable disposable income. A golfer who stays for about 4 nights will end up spending a minimum of 6 million in Uganda. But if they stay long and even go up country, they spend much more. So golf tourism has value. Those who practice golf tourism really are big spenders, and their big expenditure impacts our economy.
The tournament, at which more than 200 players are expected, will be contested on the medal format, with awards to overall ladies and men's best, seniors, and front nine and back nine winners, among others.
We're trying to promote golf tourism so that we can positively impact economically on the earnings that the country is currently making within the tourism sector, which stand at about $736 million. And we think this number can be boosted to over $3 billion within a very short span of time. As long as we invest correctly within the golf space, then the government will surely reap big benefits from it.
This golf tournament, whose first leg was played and won by Uganda at the Vipingo Ridge Golf Resort in Mombasa, is the precursor to the third Uganda-Kenya Golf Tourism Conference that is scheduled for 20th and 21st November.
That's all we had time for. Thank you once again for allowing us into your space. My name is Patricia Lukomampango. Let's meet again tonight at 8 and 10. Good afternoon.
Here they come.